Jiffy Jeff are moving from beautiful Idaho, leaving behind family we enjoy so much, packing up the house, exhausting ourselves, leaving behind the best hiking partner I've ever had, my sister Ruth. Hotel Nevada, an historic hotel, is a favorite stop of ours. The beds are super cozy, just ask Bilbo. But the bathrooms are teeny tiny. Oh well. The museum, like hallways, are spectacular. And every bedroom is super clean, from basic to, oh look, this is Wayne Newton's bedroom. Lots of his memorabilia in it. At night in Ely, you'll find pandas working long hours and haunted places. And the oldest brothel and bar since 1880. It didn't look too busy. Said they specialized in massage. Oh, the art bank at night and at day. Cool. What's that delightful noise I wake up to in the morning? It's a steam engine. Choo choo. Let's go exploring.
Hello, it's Oopsie Annie, and I am back after a long hiatus. It's been about a year, and well, what can I say? A lot of life happened, and some hair grew since you last saw me. Yay! I am in front of Hotel Nevada. We're on a trip, my husband and I. We are moving from Boise, which I loved. I loved that place. And we are moving back to where Oopsie Annie is from, which is northern Minnesota. Specifically, we're going to Bemidji, Minnesota, where Babe and the Blue Ox originated. Well, they say, allegedly. So we're going to have an adventure. I'm going to start up Oopsie Annie YouTube videos again and hopefully keep them going on into infinity. Now, let's explore Ely again. This time, a little bit differently. Last night, my husband and I were out for an evening walk, and we came by this house right there. It's a little blurry now because I've got this on cinematic, which I didn't know. It's the first time I'm using cinematic. Hey, it's kind of neat. It kind of keeps me clear, the background blurry. What do you know? Anyway, I'm going to show you a shot of this house right there that I took last night. Way spooky. But I have to share this. You see this thing right here? It's got a lot of little white fuzzies in it. When I walked by, I got a whiff of every hotel towel I've ever smelled, including the ones over at Hotel Nevada. Smells pretty good. I think that's where they wash them. Okay. It's only like 84, 85 degrees here, but we're in very high altitude. And the sun is incredibly powerful. So I am going to put a little sunscreen protection in the form of sunglasses and my hat right here, using you, my audience, to see how I do. Let's see, I gotta get it. I have this hat pin. It's a real deal. And I want to pin it through the hat and my scarf, but I sure don't want to puncture my scalp, you know? I kind of feel it. Oh my gosh. That's why I had the beret in on the top of my head. The breeze feels good. I'm in the shade of a scrappy tree, kind of good old scrappy tree that they have in the West. All right, I think it should suit. There goes my hair for the day. Oh. I shouldn't be vain at all. I did a video back when I started doing Oopsie Annie videos, and I talked about losing teeth and getting a new partial plate. And then you know what I did about a month ago? I lost that partial plate, and I really don't care. The thing was a pain in the arse. So I'm actually got some teeth missing. And I'm a very happy camper about it because at least I'm not in pain anymore. And I look at other cultures and they don't give such a hoot as we do about that kind of thing. And maybe that's good. Look at that old shack. I love these old buildings here. They're just like in all this weathered wood. And you wonder who used to live here and built these buildings. A lot of the houses, they're really tiny and there's people living in them and doing fine. It is a town really fighting. Should I use the word fighting? I think I want to say that it's a town that's lost a lot of population over the years. It struggles and there's a lot of empty buildings and things like that. But now I'm coming up to the Renaissance Village, and the last time I was here it was closed, and today it's open. So I'm going to go in there and see what they can teach me. What I know going in from my previous studies is that many different cultures came here to work the mines and try to get rich quick, and then all the people that came, the businesses that came to support them in that. So there was like a melting pot of many cultures. And each little house here represents the different cultures that made up this area and became one American culture, trying to get rich off of silver and gold and, well, all kinds of stuff, I guess. I'm up at the railroad tracks where I saw a steam engine go by earlier today, and it comes by the Renaissance Village, and here the buildings are that I'm going to go inside. And then if you see that tall brick structure right there, that's where my husband and I are staying, on the 3rd floor in a 1929 hotel casino, Hotel Nevada. Oh, here we go.
All of these were here when we acquired this property in 2006. People say, did you move them here? We did not. The last were moved here in 1923. They were all rentals. The landlord lived in that house.
Before going through the buildings, I stopped to listen to this gentleman who was a marvelous storyteller. Also, along with his wife, they were largely responsible in bringing the Renaissance Village back to life, organizing the committees, reaching out to the families of the people who had lived in these homes, getting donations of actual historical artifacts from the families, some of the very original furniture, really paying attention to detail. And through all their efforts, I have to say that when you walk into these homes, it's as if the people who had lived in them had just walked out minutes before you entered. They're very homey, very cozy, and feel especially authentic.
Although this was essentially abandoned, this was so overgrown people in the neighborhood didn't know it was here. In the 1870 census, there were people in this county from 100 different nations. This is the most remote place in America, continental. There's no other place where you have to drive to 240 miles to the closest town. So that's the land.
Before going into the houses representing different nations, English, Irish, Greece, Basque, he told us about the people who lived in there and where to look for interesting items that were in the house. And that while we were going through the house, it was all interactive. Feel free to touch things, he said. Wow, what a special place this is. Let's check it out. The first home I walk into is the miner's cabin. You can kind of tell by the axe on the wall and men's gear that miners lived here. Ooh la la, working girls. making a miner's life more bearable out west. Now we enter the English house, which has a decidedly female touch. The gentleman outside told me that the woman who lived here cooked on this wood-burning stove when she was blind. I can't figure out how she'd do that. I mean, relying on touch around a stove can be a very dangerous occupation. Oh my word, look at the size of the kitchen sink. You sure can't let the dishes pile up with this one. I'd be in trouble for sure. Ooh, fancy wax paper. Nice, and a toaster. Ooh. The toilet's just for show. Better not try and use it. Ooh, I always love a good clawfoot bathtub. Well, this is quite a cozy house. I quite like it. These here are hand-sewn clothes. How do I know? Because I read about them here. Please feel free to pause and read about it too. Emma was called Dr. Pepper, and she was a midwife. Would you look at this on the back of Dr. Pepper's porch? The woman who cooked on, well, I'm not sure if Dr. Pepper was the woman who cooked on that stove. I'm going to ask. But somebody did hair here too. Old beauty shop sign with 2 P's and an E. Look at that hair dryer, ladies' hats. I have a cosmetology license, and I actually learned how to use one of these and how to hold them with your fingers, and it's been a while now, but how to clip the hair and kind of swing it around like that and slide it out. Test it on my arm on a towel. One time my towel slipped off my arm when I was testing the heat of one of those curling irons, and I gave myself quite a bad burn. So these items belong to Myrtle's Beauty Salon, another Ely resident. Nice little washing machine there. Wash your clothes on the back porch. YouTube has made new adjustments, meaning I can't put a video on that's longer than 15 minutes. So stay tuned for part 2. See how it ends. Love life all around you. Be inspired, be grateful, birth joy, and come back for part 2.